make a video tonight, but similarly wasn't expecting a parcel today either. The parcel I got was from these guys, Footsore Miniatures, actually from Joshua Swann, the one, the only. He did a video a while ago, a fascinating video about the very British Civil War, with a competition prize in it, which, hey, I won. The very British Civil War, it's a fascinating setting. It revolves around the idea of, instead of resigning at the time of the scandal around him marrying the American divorcee Wallis Simpson, Edward VIII actually hung on to power, and the government resigned in disgust, so Baldwin and whatever went on the merry way, and instead we got a government imposed on Great Britain, that of the fascist Oswald Mosley. So decent people around the country took to the streets to oppose this, and this is the setting. There are many different factions, and Josh's question was to identify which one you would go for if you were to take up VBCW, and I wanted to play the good guys, so I went for the English Socialist Militia, and this is what Josh has sent me, so I'm absolutely over the moon with this. So there's a couple of these are, I say, from Footsore Miniatures, so there are two VBC 105, which are the regular Socialist Militia, and VBC 104, which are their characters. So let me take a look inside. I'll just look at one VBC 105 because I think they're identical. If they're not, then I'll do a more fuller video when I've painted them, whenever the hell that is, you know, don't hold your breath. This is my channel after all. We don't paint things terribly quickly these days. Hopefully that'll change, but don't hold your breath. So we begin with, let's move that out of the way. Begin with one chap there with his rifle. I haven't looked at these at all in any detail yet. But we've got sort of quite familiar looking gear from World War One. Actually, I painted a number of World War One miniatures a few years ago, and it looks, that one at least, this one as well. And something I'm delighted to see there, something I loved about the Warlord World War II Brits. I don't know if you can make out there, that thing on the very end, very back of his backpack is a T-mug. I'm over the moon to see that. I think it's a lovely touch and very appropriate for a British setting into war. A little kneeling chap there. So we got one guy with his aging, possibly a pith helmet, possibly a French World War One helmet. I don't know, a couple of cloth caps there, and I'm not sure if that's a beret on funny or a cloth cap on backwards. Again, another T-mug there. So these do look very sort of, the gear looks very like World War One, just minus like the puttees and so on. No helmets there. He's not going to stand up because there's a big chunk of flesh on his base, which is fine. That will come off all lovely. So there's two sprues of those, and let's have a look at the characters. So these guys, we've got a few different bits of different variations in equipment. So here we've got a guy with his old Sten gun there, and a nice overcoat on, and again a cloth cap. I'm quite a fan of the cloth cap. I'm from Lancashire. People do wear them unironically there. It's not hipster, it's not cool, it's just what people wear to keep their heads warm. This guy's lighting a Molotov cocktail. That is splendid. He looks very like Corporal Godfrey from Dad's Army, although in a very sort of non-characteristic Corporal Godfrey pose of about to lob a thing. Again, World War II looking entrenching tool and that. So these are probably all sort of World War One veterans. So yeah, I said World War II there. World War One veterans just digging out their old gear, or they found it somewhere. Unless, of course, this is the sort of the pre-war standard English gear as well, because I'm not that familiar with between the wars stuff. But this guy looks like an officer. Very nice indeed. And here, slightly bent now, but it's made out of lead, so it'll bend back just fine. Got a guy with the old drum fed light machine gun there as well. So all in all, that's a dozen figures. I'm gonna well, you know me and painting at the moment, there's not a lot of evidence of it on the channel, so I'll try and get some done anyway. But let's get back to the main point. Josh, I'm over the moon with these. Thank you so much for sending me my competition prize, and there is a link below to the video where I won it. I don't imagine anyone needs that, because if you're following me, you're almost certainly following Joshua as well. But anyway, there we go. That's 8 of a dozen English socialist workers' militia. So vive la revolution. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you very much indeed, Josh. All the best now. Ta-ra.